Welcome back! We are here with another Photoshop tutorial. In this design, you will learn how to create this scene. The guest of honor is Jack Sparrow, so I will show you some advanced techniques that I like them. Watch and enjoy. Step number 1. Let's create the background. The first layer of our background is this picture, a texture of a paper, but we need to change it. At first, double-click on your layer. Enable the color overlay. Blend mode, hue, opacity 100%, and color is pure white. Press on OK. Now, as you can see, my image has turned into a black and white image, but it contains too much of details and I need to decrease it. For that, come here, click on this icon and create a levels. By dragging this icon, you can increase the white pixel in your image and the details would be decreased. Something like this one is okay for our design. The next layer of my background is this vector, a vector of Photoshop tools. I will adjust it in my scene so the audience knows that I created this scene with Photoshop. Icons have been imported into the project and they've been adjusted. It's time for the final layer of my background. At first, come here and click on this icon and create a new layer. Now I will enable the brush and I will use a custom brush. If you don't have it, just read the description of this tutorial. And my foreground color has been set to pure black, and just by clicking in this area, the first step is completed. Step number 2. Let's bring on some text. As you know, for creating text in Photoshop, all you need to do is to click on horizontal type tool, click on your scene, and type anything that you like. Now, the text is created, but let me adjust it with my scene. Text is ready. Now, for the next step, I will change the appearance of my text, but before that, I need to increase the thickness of the words. For increasing the thickness of my words, there are many ways, but let me show you a professional way. At first, right-click on your layer and convert it into a smart object. Now, right-click one more time and rasterize your layer. Hold Ctrl key and click on the thumbnail of your text. Now, go to Select, come to Modify and click on Expand. You can expand your selection area as you like, but 5 pixels in this design is okay. Now, when your layer is selected and your foreground color has been set to pure black, press Alt and Backspace together, and as you can see, the thickness of my words have been increased. For changing the appearance of Jack Sparrow text, I need an image, something like this one. I will import it into the project. Image has been imported into my project and it was adjusted. Now, I need to drag my image layer above my text. Hold Alt key on your keyboard, come between your layers, and when the icon has been changed into this one, just by clicking, you will create a layer mask for your image based on this layer, my text. Now, if I press Ctrl T and change the view, something like this one is okay for my project. I just added 2 more text. One of them is this one that has been placed in the left side of my design, and another one is Captain of Hearts that has been placed in top of my design. These 2 texts doesn't have any effect, so I didn't record the process. Let's go for next step. Step number 3. It's time for shapes and image. I have already told you many different ways of creating shapes. In this tutorial, I will use this one. Come here and click on one of these options. I will use Lapse tool. Now, by click and dragging on my scene, I can create a shape. But if I would like to create it precisely, all I need is to hold Shift key on my keyboard, and now the shape is precisely. I don't need any color to fill my shape, but I need a stroke, and the size of my stroke should be 50 pixel is okay. And let me adjust it with my scene. Something like this is okay. Now, for the next layer, I need a duplicated layer of my shape. At first, make it selected, press Ctrl J. Now press Ctrl T and increase the size. Something like this one is okay, but it needs some change. Come here, and if you don't have the properties in this area, all you need to do is to come to Window and enable the properties in this option, and this one would be created for you. Now, the fill is okay, but the size of it should be adjusted. Something like 20 pixels is okay. We are going to change it if it wasn't okay. And now, by clicking on this icon, you can change the appearance of your stroke. It could be a line, it could be dashes, or it could be dots. I will use dots in this design, and as you can see, the size of them are okay. Now I need an scratched metal texture, this one. I will import it into my project. It's time for adjustment. At first, make your texture selected. Press Ctrl T and increase the size. When the size of your texture is larger than your frame, it's okay. Confirm your changes. Now come to your shape. If I hold Ctrl key and click on my thumbnail, as you can see, my whole shape wouldn't be selected. For correcting this mistake, right-click on your shape and convert it into a smart object. Now, hold Ctrl key and click on the thumbnail. Come to your texture layer. Click on adding a layer mask, and as you can see, the texture has been fit to my shape. Now, it's time for some effect. At first, right-click on your texture and convert it into a smart object. Now, double-click on it. Enable the bevel and emboss. The style inner bevel, technique Chinese soft, depth 100%, direction up, size 10 pixel. And following options are like this. And if you want to know where I have found this color, I just picked it from my texture. Press on OK, and now our main shape is ready. It's time for advanced technique of this design. Press Ctrl R and enable the ruler. Now, by dragging from this area, you can create two rulers. Now I have the center point of my design. Come here, click on this icon and create a new layer. Go to the brush. I have already reset my brush to the default. Now come here and create a shape like this. The size of your brush should be smaller than the thickness of your main shape, and the color doesn't matter. When the shape has been created and the layer of my shape is selected, press Ctrl J and create a duplicated layer. Now press Ctrl T. Hold Alt key on your keyboard, and when the mouse has been changed, come to the center of your design and click one time. Now come in this box and give it an angle. Something like this one is okay. I have applied my changes. Now, all I need to do is to press Alt, Ctrl, Shift and T together, and as you can see, the shapes would be copied around my main shape. Now, make your final layer selected. Hold Ctrl and Shift key and click on your first layer. Press Ctrl E, and all of your shape are in one layer. It's time for some effect. Make your little shapes selected. Double-click on it. Go to Bevel and Emboss. Style inner bevel, technique Chinese soft, depth 100%, size 10 pixel, and following options are like this one. But we need to enable another effect, color overlay. Blend mode should be changed to normal, and the color should be picked from my main shape. Something like this one is okay, and shapes are completed. It's time for image. The image of my design is this one. I have already removed the background from my subject, but I need both layers in my design. So let's import them into the project. Images are here, and now before adjusting them, I need to do something. At first, turn them off. Now, go to your shape layer and turn on the eye. Come here and click on Magic Wand tool. Click in middle of your shape. When the inner circle of your shape has been selected, create a new layer and fill it with a color. The color of this one doesn't matter. Now we can delete our shape because we don't need that. Let's enable our image. Something like this one is okay. Now, select both layers of our image, background and subject together. Press Ctrl T and adjust the size. Something like this one should be okay. Now, the new layer that we've just created from the inner circle, this one. Press Ctrl and hold it. Click on the thumbnail. Now come to the original image with background and create a new layer mask. Now, right-click on your image that contains your subject and the background has been removed. Convert it into a smart object. Now, hold Alt key on your keyboard, click on the layer mask of original image and drag it to this one. And now go to brush, come to the layer mask of your subject and adjust the size, and something like this one is okay, but I need to increase the size. If I press Ctrl T and increase the size, as you can see, the edges and the layer mask is not working correctly. For correcting that mistake, I need to disable these two links. Now, if I select my both images and press Ctrl T and change the size, as you can see, the image is working perfectly, and something like this one is good for my design. And the last part of our design is giving some effect to our subject, Jack Sparrow. At first, make it selected. Enable the drop shadow. Blend mode multiply, color is pure black, opacity 35%. Uncheck the use global light and change the angle to something like 30 degree is okay. Distance 40 pixel. Spread can be increased or decreased as you like. And the size 80 pixel for this one is okay. Press on OK and our project is ready. Well done, my friend! You've just completed another Photoshop tutorial. Now you know more techniques in Photoshop. I would like to see your design based on techniques that I told you in this video. Send them for me by Telegram or Instagram. And make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and share this video with your friends. See you in the next tutorial.
That's not the work.